You're just trying to make me dirty.
If you let me buy that right pass for a pet, I will do anything you say, no complaining for the rest of the year.
It tickled. It tickled. Hey, girls. January 17th, 2026. I went down a Disneyland kick, but also a couple other ones in there. I threw in one from New York because I was just there. Oh, for crying out loud, really? You're not going to let me do this? Well, here, I'll put it in post-production. But here, I can see it. The computer's acting up and needs to be restarted. But that, I just went over to the USS Intrepid in New York. When was that? A week ago? Week and a half? I don't know. I can't keep track of time. It's all just a blur. But yeah, I went over to the Intrepid and went to that spot where you guys had sat. Oh, for crying out loud. Computer's not going to behave today. I should have restarted before I started the podcast, but here we are. We're in it for the long haul now. This is the way it's going to be. So, went there and sat in those seats and thought about you guys. Anyway, yeah, Disneyland. I'm gonna get the uncomfortable thing done right off the bat. I'm sorry for how I behaved at Disneyland. You know what I'm talking about. There's no excuse. I acted like an asshole, and I won't even attempt to make excuses. I'm just sorry. So sorry about that. Kind of ruined that, and it bothers me just about every single day. Anyway, that's that. The last video there. I don't know if everybody gets this, where you get the butterflies feeling in your stomach. Grace, you're essentially a carbon copy of me, and I knew I'd warned you, like, it's gonna tickle your stomach, and it did. And that's why you're like, it tickled. It's a kind of an uncomfortable feeling when you first experience it, but then you get used to it. That's why I've never skydived. I really don't care too much about jumping out of airplanes. I'll go jump out of an airplane. I don't want to experience that feeling for 3 minutes as we plummet to Earth. So that's why I've never done that. I'll pass on it. Plus, like, do we really need to jump out of airplanes? I mean, roller coasters are right there. So, putting this up. These are my notes. So, figure out what's going on. I get scatterbrained, and I start thinking about stuff, and then that mixes up with something else I'm thinking about, and actually staying on track is not easy. So, yeah. Oh, I messed up my wrist. I was in the gym, and I'm not flexing, but I was in the gym hitting the heavy bag. It's a great way to relieve stress. You know, the big bag that's like the size of a person sitting there hitting it, and ended up jamming my wrist really bad. And so I'm on the disabled list right now, trying to get this thing. I hope it's not damaged, but I think it just jammed it. So that's what that is. It's not a a social statement or anything like that, a fashion statement. No, just Dad's getting old and has a jacked up wrist. So, yeah, I did a couple of videos for you that are in the private section. Those were a little bit, those are the not fun videos. Did an update video for you as far as what's going on in the background. So you know, did that one on the 10th. And then I did my yearly outreach video to Mom. Just saying, hey, if you want to work together and let this go, let me know. But I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, that's that. But I showed it to somebody just to get their opinion on it, and like, hey, you tell me, like, what do you think about this video? And then they said, yeah, that's a very caring, loving video. And they asked me, do you think you're going to get a response? I said, no, I won't get a response. If I get any response, is what I told them, it's going to be like threats from court, like, we're going to file motions. But I don't engage with those people anymore. It's because the simple notion of never talking to, I'm never going to talk to that person ever again. That's something like my biological mother does. And she's as mentally screwed up as anybody could possibly be. I'm not talking shit. I'm saying it as a statement of fact. If she couldn't use her legs and I said, hey, she can't use her legs, well, that would just be a statement of fact. I'm not talking shit. She has no ability to have any empathy for anybody. That's a condition people have. It's called a sociopath. And she's a sociopath. That's just the way it is. There's no remorse there in any way. And the number of people on her list of she's never going to talk to them again. And if she does, she's going to teach them a lesson. It's freaking wild, man. Like, the notion that I'm going to punish this person by never talking to them again is, it's mind-boggling that some people actually think that way. And then it's even more mind-boggling that people go into business to help people do that. Your CLR and Mom's attorney and all those women, all those divorced women that were in that little scenario we had to deal with, saying, here, we're going to make it so Dad's kicked out and the girls never talk to him again. Those are sick people. And I'm not going to mix words about it anymore. They're sick people, like genuinely sick, and they go into business to do that. I know I'm going on a rant here, but I had somebody, and I'm in these men's groups, and this guy said to me, I'm never talking to, in his words, I'm never talking to that bitch again. Okay, that shuts down a lot of possibilities. Why? What do you hope to accomplish by not talking to them? I mean, if they're actively like saying shit that like just constantly hurts you, okay, you can avoid the conversation. But there should be the hope that someday that person comes around and says, oh my goodness, I was doing something terrible there. Hey, I'm sorry. And then you go, hey, okay, hey, I accept that apology. And by the way, because this came up, an apology is not, I'm sorry you feel that way. That is not an apology. An apology is, I'm sorry I did that. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes, Dad, thank you. Good. Because when you say, I'm sorry you feel that way, you're still putting it on them and trying to pretend you didn't do anything. I'm sorry I did that. I'm not apologizing. Okay. Well, you can go down that sociopathic road. That's the way that happens. It's nuts. People are so consumed with not being wrong. That's their thing. I don't want to appear as being wrong that they will not apologize. I'm not saying sorry. Okay. What is it? What happens when you say sorry? Well, that lets the other person know that that they didn't do anything wrong. No, you're just simply saying that you're sorry for what you did. It actually helps you grow as a person. All right, there's that rant. I was in the men's class yesterday, the men's group, and we had a new guy, and he was the one that said, "I'm never talking to that bitch again." And it rubbed me the wrong way. Why? Anyway, so no, I'm very content with my videos to Mom. I think I've explained this to you. According to the priest and a few people I've talked to, and not according to that, I even know it. Like, just because Jessica down in the court system says, okay, you guys are divorced. Who's Jessica? Like, Jessica's went to law school and then put on a black robe. Okay. So Jessica says we're not married anymore. Okay, Jessica. I kind of answer to a higher power other than Jessica. And if Jessica wants to believe that she's the almighty, she can go deal with that. Now, vows are forever. And you've heard me say it before. Just because we break them doesn't mean we just start setting fire to everything like Daenerys in Game of Thrones. Was it Daenerys? Was that her name? I don't know. Khaleesi. Whatever her name was. Just hop on a dragon and start setting fire to the whole fucking place. No. That's not the way that works. So, yeah, that's that. And then I did an update video, like I said. Just going through my notes here. But, that's the other thing. Like, I was, where was it? Let's see, can I pull it up? Probably not. I'm going to search for this really fast while I talk. But, this is the problem with female therapists. And I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying some of them, okay? Females are taught to disconnect very regularly. And because of that, because that's the way they handle things, they will tell their clients, oh yeah, you disconnect from that person. And it's kind of, well, it's not kind of disturbing. It's extremely disturbing. Take a look at this. If it pulls up.
At an all-time high. Because we've shifted into a culture where feelings are treated as facts and anything that's uncomfortable is labeled as unsafe. And the numbers prove it. 1 in 4 families, 1 in 4 adults today are estranged from a close family member. And instead of learning how to regulate, communicate, or work through hard moments, people are being taught that the quickest way to feel better is to disconnect. Not to repair or reflect, just to cut off and keep your distance so that you don't feel any discomfort. And that mindset is hurting both sides. Children grow up without the emotional strength to handle conflict, and parents are cut off without a conversation, a chance to repair, or any understanding of what actually even happened. And unless we start teaching real emotional skills, this trend is only going to keep climbing and more families are falling apart.
I can only hope that if they take away gender-affirming care, the balding...
Oh, God. No, I'm not engaging with that. I'm going to catch hell for this. I know it. Women have a tendency to need other women to do what they do so they can feel accepted into the clique, into the group. This is why single women will attempt to make other women single. This is why when, hey, I got this haircut. Well, okay, now I can get that haircut. How do I explain this? if you see a gaggle of women together, they're all going to have the same haircut. Why? Well, because they need to fit in with each other, and that's the socially acceptable thing in their clique. It's like the septum thing, the septum piercings. All these women started getting septum piercings because that was that's the thing to do now. See, I'm going to do it, and you're going to do it, and we're all going to do it, and now we're all together and happy. What ends up happening is when someone like your therapist, who has been twice divorced, when she ends up giving therapy to people, she will tell people, oh, what you need to do is cut off those people just the same way I did. That way I can feel better about myself. She's a social worker who took a couple weekend classes and then ended up going and doing therapy. She's detested at wherever she was. What was that place called? And then she tells her clients to disconnect from people. That's a thing. That's what that woman's talking about. It's a real thing. Your CLR, another social worker who promotes disconnecting, a genuine mental illness. It's not healthy. We reconnect with people. We put ourselves out there and go, hey, how do we fix this? Not, I'm going to teach you a lesson by filing motions and I'm going to let Jessica know and she's going to file. It's like, no, stop. You have a mental illness. Stop doing that. Reconnect with people. I'm not saying you girls have a mental illness. I'm saying the people that promote that shit. See what happens when I get worked up because people start saying stupid shit like I'm never going to talk to that bitch again? You see? Promote peace, man. Fuck. Anyway. All right. And the thing is, and I got this queued up too. There's a thing where the more confident someone is that they're doing the right thing, the much more likely it is that they are 100% wrong. Where is it? There's this video here. Why are people so confident when they're wrong? And I pulled this one up because of the guy who says he's never going to talk to his ex-wife. Wife, actually. They're not even divorced. Why are people so confident when they're wrong? When they're wrong. Whew, hold on. I got to pull it together and take a breath. Nothing like a monster to calm me down. Why are people so confident when they're wrong? The title of the video. It's by Veritasium if you're interested in science and all types of science, whether it be space or psychology or physics or whatever. Veritasium, phenomenal channel on YouTube. But what they did is they went out and they asked people a series of questions. Not common knowledge, but questions that they might know, they might not know. Kind of deductive reasoning type questions where they had to use their brains.
Just run your car on butter, I say.
True or false? Plants are more efficient than the average solar panel at absorbing the sun's energy.
Yeah, they must be.
Now, these aren't the exact questions from the original research, more on those later, but the specifics don't really matter.
So it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the questions don't actually matter. Here's what matters.
The interesting bit is what they asked next. How confident are you that you are right?
100% confident.
100% confident?
100, yes.
I think it's true. So I've also got to go 90%.
100%.
100%?
Yeah.
I don't think
Oh, by the way, look at the gaggle of women.
100% confident?
100, yes.
I think it's true. So I've also got to go 90%.
100%.
What do you notice? Like, if you put them in a lineup, try and differentiate those girls. Their little gaggle has their social. See, we got showing the belly, long hair, long hair. Well, she has curly hair, so she can't really do anything. Well, she could straighten it, I guess. That clique has their acceptable terms for the other girls that join their clique, and then that's what's going to happen for those girls. And they're all going to tell each other how right they are. They're all going to tell each other they don't do anything wrong. And they're going to do things 100% wrong.
100%.
100%?
Yeah.
100%.
I don't think we actually had any expectations. This was very early on in the research on confidence assessment, but we didn't really know what we would find.
The results revealed a surprising disparity between how accurate someone thinks they are and how accurate they actually are. When people are 90% certain, they are right only 75% of the time. In fact, we ran our own version of this online and found an even more extreme discrepancy. We asked the Veritasium community a bunch of science questions and then asked how confident they were in their answer. Our results showed that those who were the most confident, describing themselves as 91 to 100% sure, were only correct 51% of the time. Since the original research...
You go watch the video. The more confident you are that you're right, you're almost certainly fucking wrong. God, I'm cursing a lot today. Whatever. Grace, you gave the finger in that video, so that's on you. I had to cut it short. Yeah. So take that into account when you are thinking about something. You've made a decision. Let's say you've made a decision to never talk to somebody again. Think about that. How confident are you that's the right thing to do? 100%. Okay. Yeah. I'm smacking my lips a lot too. Leave your mind open to shit. Leave your mind open to possibilities. It's this walling ourselves off. And it's almost always because we are consumed with the appearance we have to the outside world. We don't want to appear wrong. So, for example, let's stick with that example just for one quick second, and then we'll cut it loose. Let's say I make a decision to never talk to somebody again. Well, I'm going to have to let other people know that I'm not talking to that person, because if that person were to show up, I'm going to have to say, no, I don't want you talking to that person either. I'm not talking to that person, so you shouldn't talk to that person. Now I've created a situation. It's not a healthy one either. Everyone knows it. And then I start to have a realization like, maybe this wasn't the right thing to do. Maybe, well, I can't let people know that I've made a wrong decision here. I can't let people know that I made a mistake by cutting off that person. That makes that other person look like they were right. Oh no, now the appearance to everybody is going to be, I was wrong, they were right. That's too much for me to handle, so I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. You get locked into these mindsets. This is what happened to my biological mother. She started going down that snowball path, and eventually the snowball was just too much for her to handle. She had said that, I'm never talking to you again, to like 20 people because of her behavior. And now she's utterly alone, which sucks. That's terrible. I don't want that. As far as people who have screwed me over in life, my biological father and my biological mother, I mean, they literally tried to sabotage my life. They accused me of abuse. What was it? Did she? Oh yeah, she said I pulled a gun on her. I didn't even own a gun, and she said I pulled a gun on her. Anyway, my father accused me of stealing $300,000 when he had just squandered it away. Now, they'd done some terrible things, and this was why my grandparents took over when I was a youngster. They saw how just absolutely, what a train wreck those two people were and are. And so my grandparents are like, yeah, we're going to take over for you. But all that said, if they were to reach out to me and say, we've made a mistake, you know what my response would be? Hey, okay. Hey, shit happens. We all make mistakes. It's okay. We can work through it. I'm going to keep you at a distance because you've done some pretty terrible things, but we can see what can be done here. Let's work through this. It's a lot more productive than saying I'm never going to talk to that person ever again. So when you're confident about something, just remember you're probably wrong. And this is my third monster of the day, so that's kind of why I'm amped up. I need to go to the gym and actually work out because I've taken about a week off after jamming this thing. I'll tell you about something that was super cool, and I'm going to go on my spiritual kick here for a minute. I had injured my wrist. I was sick. I was dealing with a little bit of seasonal depression because of the holidays and not seeing you guys. And I started just getting down. I started just feeling just blah. I had no motivation. I was feeling kind of grumpy. And I did this thing that I've done before, but it's been a while. Let's see here. Is it? Oh, this version of it sucks, but you'll get the point.
Into the silence. Go and sit down quietly by yourself for 30 to 60 minutes. 30 to 60 minutes. Most people in our society have never sat quietly for 30 to 60 minutes in their entire lives. Yet I will tell you this method works 100% of the time. That any problem that you have, any difficulty, any challenge, any goal that you want to accomplish, if you go into the silence and sit quietly and then listen to the still small voice within. The still small voice within.
So the still small voice, for me, is God. If it's something else for you guys or for anybody watching this, whatever. I literally went and sat down on my couch. I'm like, I got to pull myself out of this rut. I sat on my couch. I think it was for a little bit more than 45 minutes. But I sat there and just put my arms down and just sat. And no, I don't hear voices, but you get what's called inspiration. You are inspired, in spirit, inspired. Inspire, the root word is spirit. And for Christians, for us, it's the Holy Spirit that comes to us in those times. It's the still small voice that this guy's talking about. When we're overwhelmed with stimuli, you can't hear it. If you're going to a concert, if you're at a party, if you're hanging out at brunch with the girlfriends, you can't hear any of that. It's drowned out by all the, oh my God, is that pesto? Oh my God, so my hair got done the other day and my nails, and but what am I going to wear? Oh, the party's tomorrow night. What am I going to wear to the party? Okay, that's phenomenal conversation, but you might want to go sit down and actually like take in like what's going on rather than wondering if it was pesto that's in the dish. It's a Bill Burr line.
Sit around to listen to your friends have moronic conversations about the eggs, like, is that pesto? Is that pesto in your omelet? Oh, it's asparagus. It's asparagus. I thought it was pesto. Oh, you just want to flip the whole fucking table over?
But I sat there, and after about 20 minutes, I had not said anything. After about 20 minutes, I literally just said, God, I could really use some help getting out of this rut. I just need to be re-energized. I kid you not. When was that? That was day before yesterday, I think it was. I kid you not. Within 30 minutes, I just felt this overwhelming, like, whoa. It was like I had been given an energy shot, and no, I had not drank anything. blatantly obvious. Like my energy went from like, 4% on the battery. I was at 95%. Probably could have been a little bit more, but I got up, started doing things. Went outside and planted some trees. Are those? Let's see here. Are you gonna let me? Is the computer actually gonna let me show the trees? What do you think? Oh, that's the garage. I put in the blue lights on the garage. Well, those are multicolored lights. So I went and did that. Where are the trees? There they are. Planted the trees right there in the front yard. I got re-energized simply by sitting down, staying in silence, avoiding the stimuli, wondering what the girls are doing. No, actually, I was wondering what you girls were doing. But yeah, it was wild. It was absolutely wild. I highly recommend it. Even if you're not a believer. If you're not a believer, okay. But you can sit down and say, and again, leaving the possibility open that God is out there. Because, no, I know there's no God. Okay, well, you just shut off a lot of possibilities there. But if you just say, hey, God, if you're there, I've gotten myself into a funk here, and I need your help. Watch what happens. Leave yourself open to it. It's phenomenal. So that's that. What else we got? Oh, yeah, sitting in the silence. It had been a while since I'd done that. Like 3 or 4 months. Oh no, that was in summer. Was the last time I did that. I remember it. It was right after the 4th of July. Anyway, that's that. When we leave ourselves open to possibilities like that, the world opens up. When we shut off possibilities, you close off the world, and you end up like my biological mother. So, the goal is to try and like experience the world. Like I was telling you, when people tell you to cut things off, these therapists, they're always social workers, by the way, they're not therapists, always, like your CLR, social worker. My least favorite therapist that I had, social worker. Your therapist, social worker. It's the easiest to get. It's the easiest certification to get is social worker. And what they do is they learn about government programs to help people, and then they get about that much actual like therapy training. But they're still allowed to do it, which is wild. Stay away from social workers. I rarely make suggestions like that. Stay away from social workers. They're mentally not right. I've yet to meet one that's mentally there. They got into that position, in my experience, they got into that position so that they could actually control other people. That's what they do. Therapists actually have to like do work on themselves a little bit. But yeah, there's if you don't know, let's see here. Maslow's. There we go. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Images. Visit. Come on. There we go. A guy named Maslow a long time ago came up with a series of needs that humans have. It starts out with the physiological needs. Excuse me, I almost said psychological, but the physiological needs. We need air. We need water. We need food, shelter. You got to get some sleep in there. You got to have clothing. I mean, nudists might, differ with that, but you need reproduction. Maybe. And then you need your safety needs, personal security, employment, resources. And it goes right up to the top, right? Need your love, need to feel belonged, and unfortunately, that's where a lot of people stop. Is the love and belonging, because they get into their clique, they grow the right hair length, they do their nails the way that they're supposed to do them, they wear the makeup that they're supposed to wear, they wear the outfits that they're supposed to wear at the parties, and then they stop right there. The esteem doesn't happen because they're not being themselves. They're fitting into a clique. And so they get stuck in this level of trying to belong, and they never go any further. And then they also start, whatever the opinion of the clique is, well, that's the opinion that everybody has. So they can't actually have their own opinions. When you actually start becoming you, you'll start getting actual respect. You'll start developing real self-esteem. You will actually start to achieve status and recognition. You'll start building strength, both emotionally and physically and spiritually. You'll actually start to experience freedom. All those things on the esteem level. All those things that women, and a lot of men, are desperately trying to get. Well, they can't get it because they're trying to belong in a clique. You're only going to belong to like 3, 4, 5 people at most. It's the way it is. You start trying to get along with this clique of 20 girls, you're screwed. Good luck. You can try just getting away from that. I would recommend it. That's what I did. And you start moving up the ladder again. And then finally, the last one is self-actualization. Self-actualization, a lot of people don't. Ask a therapist. I dare you. Ask a therapist. What does self-actualization mean? Go ask your therapist. She's probably 3 times divorced by now. Go ask your therapist what self-actualization is. She'll have no idea. She won't know because she hasn't achieved it. It's becoming the actual you that you were meant to be. It's what God intended for you to be, the actual self. And so many people, and again down here, they get stuck because they think right here they're going to find happiness. And as I told you a couple weeks ago, the biggest lie that's been perpetrated on women is that they are supposed to be happy. No, happiness comes occasionally. What you're supposed to do is become your actual self and give to the world. We don't give to the world by ripping children away from families and fathers. We don't give to the world by, telling other people to separate, and no, don't connect with those people. And I want to make the differentiation. You can belong to a small group of people. And then those people, you do whatever you can to work through things. You can't do that with a big group of people. It's not possible. But the outside group, like an example, your CLR telling mom and you guys to separate from me and never talk to me again, that's a mentally deranged person who's trying to get you guys to do what she has done so that she can feel as though she belongs. Make sense? You can move up the ladder and actually start working towards these other things by realizing I'm not going to be happy. Sometimes life is going to fucking suck. In fact, a lot of the times life is going to suck. Real love isn't what has been perpetrated on women. Speaking of which, I don't know that I'm going to find it, but love. No, I'm not going to find it. There's a video going around right now of a girl who claims that she is in love with 2 guys at the same time. And it's interesting because she lists all these things that she's getting. This guy gives me this guy gives me that, this guy gives me that, the other guy gives me this, I get that, I get this, I get this, I get this. Never once talking about what she gives them. And by the way, it's not possible to be in love with two people at the same time. Maybe it is. I don't think it is. Because real love is what you can give to somebody else. It's not about what you get. And this is what's been perpetrated on women. Is they think, is this it?
I don't know what to do. I've never been so happy in my life. I'm in this, like, I get to pick. I make the rules now.
She makes the rules.
I'm in love with both. And
I'm in love with both.
In the next 24 hours.
I'll decide for you. Guys, if you recognize this woman...
Yeah. Where's the original video? Anyway, yeah, she just talks about what she's getting from each one. That's her, in her head. That's what love is. She is in love because she's getting things. She gives them nothing. She's lying to both. And she thinks that's happiness. Terrible thing. But let's see here. Where did it go? Oh, I lost it. Here you go. Jordan Peterson talking about why humans are not designed to be happy. If you don't know Jordan Peterson, he's a clinical psychologist who has phenomenal information for anybody. If you find somebody that doesn't like this guy, I would recommend staying away from that person. I assure you, your CLR despises Jordan Peterson.
You need an antidote to suffering, and it has to be deep. And deep moves you tectonically, and it's not a trivial thing. It's better than happiness. There are times in your life when you're not going to be happy, and then what are you going to do? Your goal is demolished.
And according to these people, these social workers, when you're not happy, you cut people off.
And there are going to be plenty of times in your life when you're not happy. There might be years. And so it's a shallow boat in a very rough ocean. And it's based upon a misconceptualization. Happiness is something that descends upon you. Everyone knows that. You know, it comes upon you suddenly. And then you should be grateful for it, because there's plenty of suffering. And if you happen to be happy, well, wonderful. Enjoy it. Be grateful for it. What you should be pursuing instead is, well, there's two things. You should be pursuing who you could be. That'd be the first thing. It's like, because you're not who you could be, and you know it.
He goes on to talk about it. Who you could be. Self-actualization. That's what you should be pursuing. He also talks about pursuing peace, not happiness. And many people don't know the definition of peace. The best example I can give you is Jesus. He's up on the cross. He's been wrongly persecuted. He's been tortured and beaten. He's been shamed. He's up on the cross being murdered wrongly. And he asks for forgiveness for the people who have done this to him. Do you think he's happy on that cross? Do you think he's like, some people say he's joyful. He's not joyful. There's no joy. He's suffering in a way that very few people ever have. And he asks for forgiveness because he's at peace. Peace is not willing any sort of harm or ill will towards anyone despite what you're going through. You can be happy, you can be sad, you can be angry, you can be scared, anything, all those emotions, but if you just don't wish anything negative on other people, you are at peace. That's what peace is. It most definitely does not include happiness. And that's what love is love is no matter what I'm feeling, I'm going to do what you need me to do. And Unfortunately, what happened is for our society is women were told by divorce attorneys and social workers, and sometimes social worker divorce attorneys, that if you're not happy, leave your husband and make him suffer. You decide whether that has anything to do in any way with what all the religions teach with regard to peace. They'll have to deal with that. I was going somewhere with that. He also in that video talks about what's called self-awareness. And if I were to ask somebody, are you self-aware? Like, are you aware of yourself? Most people say yes. The studies show that the vast majority of people, like 90% of people, are not self-aware. Just to back me up so you don't think I'm talking out of my ass. Self-aware. 10 to 15% are actually self-aware. And here's the thing. If you don't know what the term self-aware means, you're not self-aware. If I say to you, are you self-aware? Well, yes. What does self-aware mean? Well, I'm aware that I exist. No, that's not what self-aware means. Self-aware means, let's see if I can, come on.
Tasha Urich is a self-awareness researcher, and what she has found is that 95% of people think that they are self-aware, but only 10 to 15% are actually self-aware. How do we explain this disconnect? That's what I want to walk through with you now. One of the things that helps me to best understand this is to recognize.
All right. I'll sum this up for you. This one's going to seem like I'm actually being a little spicy. And remember, like, the things that I've said, all my opinion, but they're based in the behaviors of other people. So, self-awareness. I'm going back to my boy Jesus. When he said, somebody asked him, how will we know good from evil? How do we know it? How can we tell? And Jesus' response was, you will know them. You will know good from evil, as far as people, by the fruits of their labor. What they give to the world. An example, a divorce attorney gives destruction and people being cut off, just all around nastiness, lies, deception. That's what a divorce attorney gives to the world. How about someone like Jordan Peterson, who goes out and tries to teach people like how to handle and regulate emotions? You can look at those two people and decide who's the good one, who's the evil one. You decide. You look at the fruits of their labor, what they're giving to the world. And self-awareness is exactly tied to that. Because when we are just consumed with ourself, we are not self-aware. Because ourself is much more than just this. It's also the world around us. It's also that we know what we can give to the world. So when we look at the things that we do, that's self-awareness. If we're stuck in our appearance, which so many freaking people are, you know, if you're consumed, if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you think about is your hair, if you go through the day and think about, I'm going to get another piercing today, I'm going to get my nails done today, I'm going to, whatever it is, and not the gym. The gym doesn't count because the gym actually is therapeutic and healthy. But when you're just doing things for your, I'm going to go get another tattoo today. Those things that are just purely appearance, I'm going to buy some shoes. I'm going to, get my hair done. I'm going to go shopping and get some clothes. Those things that do not give fruit to the world, well, you're not self-aware. You're just consumed with yourself. which is, I know it's kind of a conundrum there, but self-awareness is it's a difficult topic to explain, but the more you think about what you're giving to the world as opposed to what you're getting, like that girl, I'm getting this, she's not self-aware in any way. She's just self-consumed. So that's it. I just saw a video that I have to bring up because this apparently, I didn't know about this. And this needs to be addressed. We're going to watch this video and then we're going to talk about it real fast.
If a woman says to you, get away from me, leave me alone. Guys think that she's a guy. So they think she means leave me alone. What she really means is chase me and prove to me you love me. Ladies, if that's true, make some noise. So I understand in a masculine, logical world, if a guy says leave me alone, you leave him alone. Because that's what he wants. But a woman tells you something, just know usually it means the opposite of what she's saying.
Good gracious.
People need to suffer.
People need to suffer. It's, Jeremy Renner. He almost died. Like, came real close. And he had a little bit of a near-death experience. I think we watched that one last time. But, yeah, you got to suffer. And you're going to suffer a lot more than you're happy. And that is actually going to bring peace, which is far better than any happiness. Jesus didn't say, may the happiness of Christ be with you. He said, may the peace of Christ. He said, my peace I give you, my peace I leave you. Not my happiness. Stop trying to be happy. Go out and do what you're supposed to do in this world, and then you will obtain peace. It's much better. What's this thing? Leave me alone means chase me. I thought no meant no. Okay? And I get it. I'm being rhetorical here. Because I need you guys to understand. This is what men have to deal with no means no. And when I say leave me alone, it means chase me. How are we supposed to deal with that? So take that information. I'm just going to show you that, and then you decide what you like, because you're going to be in relationships. You're going to go out and you're going to be in relationships. And you're going to have to well, I mean, if you want a healthy relationship, you're going to have to actually empathize with your partner. And if you say to him or her things like, leave me alone, when you actually want them to do something else, listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat that. That's manipulation. You are saying one thing, trying to get a different reaction. That's manipulation. Now, if you're comfortable doing that and your partner's comfortable with you manipulating them, okay, hey, have at it. But when you don't get the result you want because you tried to manipulate somebody and you didn't get the result you wanted, don't go blaming them. That's a touchy subject for me. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I got to actually get over to the gym and get my workout in. I'm all amped up. That guy really pissed me off with that statement. He was just so negative. He was so negative and aggressive. And he was introducing himself and just had just a lot of anger in him. And I know, you see this, this behavior of mine and think I'm angry. I'm not. I'm insanely happy. But I enjoy banter. That's the sign of somebody who's, I think I'm enjoyable to be around these days anyway. And I enjoy the banter. People who don't enjoy banter and who want that's inappropriate. They love that word, inappropriate. That is inappropriate. Those people are a pain in the ass. kind of be silly and go on rants. Kind of like Bill Burr.
Means no, that's another one. No means no. It's like, no, it doesn't. All right? Look, no means no. No, that means no. All right, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Oh my God. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, that's not a fucking no. That means I want to do it, but I'm afraid you're going to judge me, so I'm just going to make it look like it was your idea so you don't figure out that I've already performed this act with 40 other fucking people. Right? But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, she didn't fucking say it like that. She didn't say it like that.
But this guy was actually like pissed. So, yeah. I'm never going to talk to that bitch again. Don't do that. Maybe that woman has the solution to him achieving self-actualization. And he just shut it off. Don't do that. Leave yourself open to options. All right, girls. I love you. I miss you. I got the little muffin. And I did order the monkey now that I know that they do such good work. That is really good work. Like, seriously. Whoever made that, I wanted to send them a thank you note, but I didn't know who it was. It was just budsies.com. All right. I love you guys. You guys go out. Spread the love. You're not always going to be happy. You can be peaceful. Go out and spread the love. Love one another, same way I love you. Sound good?